Welcome back to Watching Film and Varnadore Films. I am Seth Varnadore. I'm a former high school and college football coach. Now I break down film here on YouTube with a particular emphasis on the Florida Gators. Um, I took a look at the spring game. Was it that bad, right? As soon as the game happened, during the game, uh, Florida was kind of getting brutally ravaged on Twitter and other social media places. It hasn't seemed to cool down a ton since then. I wanted to record something sooner, but I've been sick, and you can even tell now I've sounded like Harvey Firestein the last 2 or 3 weeks. So, but I'm starting to get out of it a little bit. So I thought I'd record something. I didn't look at every play on here. It's going to be things that maybe things that stuck out to me, or things I liked, things I didn't like. Give you kind of my general thoughts on the spring game. Up top, just real general. First of all, if you're here and you like college football scheme stuff or Florida Gator stuff, please subscribe, like all that kind of stuff. Help me game the YouTube algorithm a little bit would be helpful. But just in general thoughts on the spring game, it was a spring game. There's not a ton you can take from it. I think you can like how the defense played in terms of aggressiveness. You can probably enjoy that. It's not crazy different from last year, but I think definitely a lot more aggressive, right? Then offensively, it's hard to tell with kind of how the teams were split up, especially on the offensive line. How many of the issues were just communication, which I think a lot of them were, or one guy getting beat, which those things can be fixed, right? Ideally. So let's go ahead and get right into it here. We'll just go ahead and start with play one. I think I have the whole first drive in here for the first offense against the first defense. And that's another thing, splitting the teams like this. It wasn't necessarily designed to give one or other the advantage. Sometimes you'll split up and you'll have your one offense go against your two defense to give the fan base a little confidence. But you don't always get a true measure. I think this gives you a little bit better measure of where your weaknesses are. But so we'll start with the first play. This is one thing I thought, Mertz, he was okay for me during the game. He had some bright spots and some misses, and we'll see later. He gets lucky on a couple of these, right? He kind of is what you thought he was. I think he can get better, but I think here's the thing he can clean up. I think he holds on this too long here. So you have a play action shot. I'm guessing it's probably deep over in a deep post, trying to high low a safety off play action. And then he's your check down late. So I think you got a pretty good idea here. If you got the post, and then if you got the crosser, and again, I can't tell you exactly if that's the combination, but that's just my guess based on stuff they ran last year. Typically, you got a deep post and a deep crosser. So I think just you're a little late to get to this check down. And also, like, it's easy to say watching it slow motion here, but eyes, let it rip now. Don't step up and go. And then you get a sack, which was it a protection issue? Not really. It's just, you just get beat in a one-on-one pass rep. Other than that, protection's solid. You'd have a nice pocket, right? If you win this, if you just hold him to here, you have a nice pocket to take a chance and drop it down here. But you lose that, and I think that's a freshman, some guy that's playing high school football last year. So you can give him a little slack, I'd imagine. But what could have been a decent play if it's not a sack, right? I think some guys always stop running with a whistle. But turns into a sack on the first play. So now you're just trying to get some yardage back. Here's something you'll see. You saw Florida run last year. This is one that if you watch any of the NFL draft guys scouting Richardson, particularly I think in the Tennessee game, and it happens in this game once. It happens once in this game as well. The tight ends can foul this thing up here. I think it's double. I think it's basically double stick to both sides. He may have the option to break this thing out. So a couple of times the tight ends, especially last year, just kind of took the path of least resistance. So this is what it's supposed to look like. So let's watch it run real quick. Right there. Well, he turns out, but he's really just trying to occupy here and I can work there. Now, if this guy flies to the flat, then I work here, right? It should be an easy pick a side, work it. Same thing. I'd have the speed out down here, or if he flies underneath it, then I have the stick, right? So that's the idea. Now, if you're running a speed out as a tight end and you get a little lazier, take the path of least resistance. Well, now maybe I don't want to get rerouted. I don't want to get touched. So I widen my release and then I break out. Well, now I'm underneath this window. So I know there's one in particular in the Tennessee game last year. I think the QB school, who does a good job, really provides a different perspective, kind of a pro level perspective on things. But he was complaining about the spacing on here, and it's obvious the guy busted. Like, this is what it's supposed to look like, and the spacing's just fine right there. But you pick up a decent amount on 2nd and long, get yourself a chance to get into 3rd and 10. Here, I believe you just you kind of get suckered into a bad audible here. You see Mertz right there. He's checking. All right, watch the hands right here. Checking on both sides. I think in his mind, he's thinking it's right. The ways the corners are rolled up, you got one high. He may be thinking, you know what, this is cover 1, and he checks to 4 verts. Which if it's 1 or even 3, which they'll play a ton of 3, or Armstrong likes to play a lot of 3. Against a one high look, especially if you think it's cover 1, this is a pretty good check. You take a shot on your 1-on-1, move the safety, you can work the inside. You got some options here, but it's not going to be cover 1, right? So on the back end, you see the safety starting to pedaling. He's going to pedal. It might be deep 3rd, it might be deep half. It's hard to tell exactly, but it could be inverted Tampa 2, where he's the pipe player. So in Tampa 2, right, and like old school Tampa 2, he's Derek Brooks. So Derek Brooks would start here and run the pipe. He's Derek Brooks. He's Brian Urlacher. We're just starting him back there, right? But that's the idea. But they show the 1 high look, rotate to almost a 2 deep or a 3 high. If it's cover 3, it could be cover 3 cloud, where these guys are cloud corners. And then obviously 3rd and long, they're going to sink a little bit, especially nothing's threatening them to the flat here. So I can sink underneath these throws, right? So you kind of get baited into a bad audible, which will happen. Like that's okay. That's going to happen. And that's when you game plan teams, you know how much they bluff, and that can be built into it a little bit. But up front, what's the issue? Well, you got a really well-designed creeper here. So let's get all this coverage off here. Right, creepers, we heard about them last year, right? Bring in guys from the 2nd level. Still only bringing 4 rushers, but not the 4 that are lined up front, right? So this is a good one. Looks like you got a 1 and a 3 here, maybe. I'm going to kind of run to the tackle's inside shoulder, both guys. Doing that, especially if these guys step up and occupy the tackle, right? And I think they do a pretty good job on this one of it. No, they drop on this one. There's one where the lineman does a really good job of stepping up, getting engaged, and then dropping out, and which helps. But I guess 3rd and 10, he probably doesn't need it as much. But you could probably give a little bit more here and get out. But these interior linemen are going to occupy the eyes of the guards. So as they occupy their eyes, he's going to turn out. He's going to turn out. So even if they got that blocked, well, now how many you got left in the middle, right? 1. And now we bring in 2. So your back's going to have to come up and pick this up. And if he's late or if he doesn't pick it up, which he doesn't quite pick it up here, that's where you get a sack on the quarterback, right? So good design, well executed. And you can see how he almost gets there. The left guard almost gets there. He's just a hair late. You see, or I'm sorry, the right guard here. Right guard almost gets there to help with the back. There's your right guard. He almost gets there. He's just a hair late, and the back misses as well. And good play by the defense there. That's going to happen. First play the other way. You're like taking a shot on first down here, right? Thing to notice here, bringing pressure off the edge here, and also look at the front. So you got to really, I want to put this one on here to kind of look at the defensive front. You're going with it looks like a tight front, which they'll call mint, I think is what Armstrong likes to call it. Georgia calls it mint. And he talked about in the clinic, he talked about them wanting to get the mint space in the run game. And I'm sure we'll do something on that later on. But you got a 4-eye, looks like a nose, then a 4-eye. So your two, we'll put 4s on them. These two guys are inside eye of the tackle, not quite a 3-tech. A 3-tech would be between the tackle and guard. So they're shaded the inside of the tackle here. And then these guys are kind of the force players, kind of the outside players here. And so they're going to bring the nickel, which I think maybe, as you see this defense more as a quarterback, maybe you have a pretty good idea, okay, he's probably coming with this displaced gap here. Like they're either slanting that way or he's coming, right? There's got to be something happening over there. But so first down, you get a little bit of a tight front, mint front. Take a shot. The receiver wins. Let it rip, get it out there. Now, this is actually not a well thrown ball, but he let it rip there. It wasn't like it was totally underthrown. Next play, you got a tight end attached. Looks like an over front to me. It's hard to tell exactly, but it looks like a 1-tech here, 3-tech here. So this is more of an even front look. The last one was an odd front look. Tight end wasn't attached. Now the tight end's attached. Looks like more of an even front look to me. So I'm just using these to kind of show the front changing a little bit. And now here's one that's kind of one for both sides here. You get the corner blitz on 3rd and 3. Interesting way to do it, though. So we're going to bring the corner off the edge, right? I'm going to run through this tackle, outside the guard through this tackle. If this guard turns and opens with me, I'm bringing the end back inside. So what I'm trying to do here, basically, he's a nose. Work that. And now see if I can get him to take 2. He's going to come free. Center's occupied right there. I'm also bringing one off the edge. So I've got functionally, right, we can cut this off. They've got 2. I've got 3. So I should be able to win the numbers game here. And then offensively, and you'll see he does this later. They still don't connect it, but corners blitzing, probably want to turn right here or maybe just quick turn. Like it does, you don't need to run your route. Now, maybe you're thinking, maybe you've been working hots. I don't know. I don't know if they have hot calls or anything like that, but maybe you've been working hot. You're thinking, all right, if there's a blitz, my hot is a slant, or it might just be the call and he just keeps it on. But if the corner's coming right now, you don't want to run a slant into the next closest defender, right? It makes his job really easy. So they do this later on, and we'll show it later on. But man, if that guy comes right there, just sit right now, and the quarterback puts you on it right there. Right, if this throw is being made right here, and he's got to close that space down. Well, now all I got to do is win a one-on-one, and I might score. Right? That's theoretically all that has to happen there. Instead, you kind of run yourself into traffic. Quarterback, that's kind of where the ball's supposed to go. But it's a tough look. It's going to be tough for the receiver to make that catch, and the DB does a good job knocking it away there. So good scheme by the defense here. You can see how they can get that 3-on-2. And then just those are like the nuances from playing in a game that you kind of pick up when you're in full bore competition here. And then right here, I think it's the same. Now this is a pretty good job right here. Watch these guys. upfield to get the tackles engaged here. Upfield a step to get the tackles engaged. Now they go out, so the tackles waste themselves on these guys that aren't coming. Same thing, waste the guards. Now I'm bringing 2 through here. And there's some explosiveness in the linebacker core. There's that's getting there pretty quick. Offensively, you're running mesh. You know, if you get this look as a quarterback, you're thinking this is a great call. Because it looks like I'm getting 6 coming, right? So I got these shallows that are meshing here. It should be good. Now, when they see zone, they gotta if they had time, you'd both curl up, hit him in that hole right there, and you can go. But again, good call by the defense here. I think you had a limited playbook on offense, a limited menu. But good call by the defense there. And good execution. All right, so here's a play action look here. No, I think you might have checked your run here. So this is going to be something I think that has to be, maybe it's just something they weren't looking to show in the game a lot. Right, when Anthony Richardson's the quarterback, just him being in there and breathing is going to hold this backside defensive end a little bit. He doesn't have to do anything. He doesn't have to show run. That guy's going to hold back a lot of times, right? He's going to slow play this, play the boot, play the quarterback run game, right? So you're going to need different ways this year to control backside ends, especially on these wide zones, right? I'm running wide zone. If I don't control him with a boot or something, he's just going to run flat down the line and get after this, right? He's able to run flat, run down the line, help make the play. So this is something when you're coaching, you got a guy in the box watching that. How are they playing the backside of zone? If this guy's flying down, down the line, we need to boot him, right? Again, protection issue here. But you have a chance here. It's 4th and 7. You're going to run almost like a levels look over here. And then a high-low over here. And you're going to end up getting a window for this dig right there. You just don't have the protection for it. It's almost gets picked up here. Almost gets picked up. Your left tackle's good. Wide. And the guard's not quite sure to pick up because he sees his blitz coming as well. So he's kind of a step late. The back goes to fit inside. He's kind of think I can pass it off. Right? And then he realizes, oh, no, I can't pass it off. By the time he realizes, hey, I got to stay on that. The back's coming here. It's too late. Quarterback's forced to run. But you see here, if that's blocked and he's got a pocket, he's taking the bait right there. He's going to come into that window right there for the first down. And you also could have worked this side too if you wanted to. But he's looking this way. But there it is. He takes this bait. He might be expanding, but there's the hole right there for the first down. But protection didn't hold up. But it's not like you totally got manhandled. It's more of a, you got to think through it quicker. I didn't realize, okay, I got to stay on that. The back's going to pick up the backer. Mental issues, which those can be fixed. So here's a little modern triple option. You got the zone run game, and he's the flat. All right, so dive, keep, pitch. Those are your 3 options in the triple option. Here you go. He takes away the dive, pull for the keep. He's taking away the pitch. And there you go. So what happens here if this guy is nosy and plays that? Well, then I flip it out to him, and he's up the sideline, right? So I'm using that to expand, using the tight end arrow. I think this is something they did with Witten a lot in Dallas. I believe was when they started doing this a little bit. They control that area with him to the flat. If he tries to get nosy, then you can whip it out to him right there. But quarterback keeps it. Not quite as dynamic as what you had last year, but if you can do that, pick up 7 or 8, you can at least make them honest and protect your run game a little bit, which they're going to need to do. Again, bringing more pressure. 1st and 10 here. Bringing it off the edge there. So this is interesting. I think, Florida had some quick game stuff. They seem to want to go to the boundary more. So they wanted to go down here. I thought in the spring game, it was pretty apparent they worked in the boundary. My guess is they're working to the jack. I think they still call this guy the jack. Do they call him the jack? I think they do, right? They're working the boundary. The boundary outside backer, but really like that, outside backer hybrid defensive end guy. Right, because I think your assumption is he's going to be rushing more, right? So I can work my quick game stuff to the boundary. Defense actually brings the guy off the nickel off the top here. This, I believe they call it a star. They bring the star and drop him and drop the jack into coverage. So now the quarterbacks pick this side and it's muddy, right? If I worked up top, it's clean, right? It's a different way to run the same concept they ran earlier. You've got double stick, but instead of earlier we saw like this, and he was the speed out. Now he's here and he's in the flat. It's almost like a mini crow flat, but it's basically stick. But I think he wants to work. He works the jack side, so he works into the boundary. But obviously everything's going to be squeezed to the boundary, right? That's a little tougher. But I think I'm assuming he expected him to rush. So now it would open up because somebody would have to be flat right now, and then I'd be able to stick it on the flat or hit the stick here. But they drop the jack, bring the star from the other side. So if you're trying to predetermine, this screws you up because now they've got you outmanned over there. Work the top side. That's where you've got it. So good job by the defense mixing up who's coming, who's not. Keep the offense guessing a little bit. Right here, I put this one in, right? Because I think one complaint was a lot of the motion guy. A lot of times felt wasted. Some people thought the motion man felt wasted a little bit last year. They did this, I think, against Kentucky, something similar. But you got a motion guy, and he's actually going to carry it into a wheel route. And then you're going to run a boot here. Sneak somebody into the flat, put it on him. That's fine. You also get a penalty for holding on the post. One thing I think they need to make sure they do this year is not just, you don't want to front side it, and I'm sure they won't. Like there's going to be things on here they didn't show, and I can't recall exactly how much they ran boot where they totally turned their back, but I know they ran a ton of this where it was front sided and he rolls. I don't know. I think you're going to have to go to a lot more turn your back to the defense, wide zone stuff with this group of quarterbacks. But you can make it work if they can make good decisions. But I'd be interested to see if you see more of that. Here's another look at double stick. Right, here's one where you get, this is kind of what I was talking about, right? Tight end's got to be firm through here, especially into the boundary, get to my landmark and break it out. I can't go early. I can't take the path of least resistance. Because this is what happens, especially into the boundary. And like I said, I think they wanted to work the boundary here because they thought they were going to get the rush here, and again it comes off this side. So good little game of cat and mouse here. But look, the tight end, he's got to kind of run through that and just stay out of this. Because right here, him kind of not taking the path of least resistance here is why you get this bad spacing. Right? First of all, I think they want them on pretty similar yardages, right? They don't want them this spread, but I know they don't want them this tight here. So maybe hold that thing up for a little bit, let this thing break out, and then stick up right there. Your job is to run your route Your job is not to get open every play. Your job is to run the route that's called. Sometimes you don't get open because somebody else is going to be open. Then there's also looking at the front here. Why did they not pick up? Like why are they not picking this up? I think it's an RPO. I think they've got a run called here, and it's also very possible that you just keep that guy in right there and just work the run game. But so this is an RPO here. So they're running zone. He's not going to turn out the backside here, especially he might if he's up on the line of scrimmage. Maybe they might lock it. But with this guy coming from depth, the ball should get out before he gets there. So that's why I think you get a free rusher there. So it's not a protection issue. I think they're kind of doing a little zone RPO here, what it looks like. You get the route, but the spacing is not great. But that's I want to show that for what's the difference between the first one we saw and that one, right? When the tight end takes the path of least resistance, you get in some trouble here. Another RPO. This is a ball I think it's catchable, but better ball here obviously is a big play. So this is where you get not worried, but this is where you want to see Mertz clean it up a little bit if he's going to be the guy. He's shown he can make these kind of throws in the past. He made throws off RPOs in the tight windows at Wisconsin at times. He was also erratic at times. That's the biggest thing with him is his consistency, and we talked about that in our video about him. But I think this is catchable. Obviously, not a great throw. Maybe catch it and fall down, but a better throw here. It's the right read, right? Really ride it here. Eyeballing this safety. Good job. Safety's coming down. And then the safety does a good job of turning and getting underneath it when he recognizes RPO to make it a little more difficult. If he just kept flying up, the throw is a little easier. He makes the throw a little more difficult, but that's a throw that should be made here. Yeah, so those are the ones you got to hit, right? If you're going to be a winning team this year, you've got to hit those kind of throws. So here's one thing about Mertz. I thought he just in his overall performance, the first play I showed, I thought maybe he was a little indecisive or a little slow to get off things. In the quick game, he was really quick to make decisions and get the ball out of his hand. I don't know if he's so used to the pressure he got last year or the early part of this game that he's like, I'm getting the ball out of my hands fast. But he made quick decisions, right? He could possibly wait for this thing to open up. But I think he feels like I got this guy outflanked right now. Give it to him. They're running Y corner here, little air raid staple. And then you got double slant up top. So double slant. Oh, gosh, no. No. The cursor got away from me there. Double slant. And then spot, corner, flat. Y corner and air raid parlance. So maybe he could wait for this guy to open up and try to hit that. But I'm okay making, if you're going to make quick decisions and just, hey, man, we'll take, we'll take 3 yards, 3-4 yards. If I'm constantly making quick decisions, I'm okay with that. 2nd and 10 here. Use the motion to help confirm some stuff for you in the boot. So this is what there's not enough, and I think it depends on kind of what you get in the run game here. And maybe they were hoping this thing gets down blocked there and you're okay, but right when I'm booting, I'm trying to get him inside here. Makes it easier for me to get out, right? So I'm trying to get him to play the run. That's why I'm play action and get him to jump inside for the run game. I don't know if these guys are scared enough, right? I think they think they can slow play it a little bit because they'll be able to kind of get to Mertz, right? He's not Richardson, so it's going to be a little bit easier to get there. I wonder if they're going to have to do a lot more where they're showing their back, where the fake's happening over here. I'm running like wide zone, and now I'm booting out off that, right? But it'll be game plan specific, I'm sure. If you're running a ton of split zone, and this is how they're running it, where he's downhill and they're front siding it, then you'll be all right, probably, right? And then this all could be for naught. It could all just because, hey, I feel like I got a down ball there and I just kind of whiff going to the second level. But this is one where it's a tough throw, but this is a throw that has to be made. So again, you're going to use the motion man here. I think you got deep post. Motion man's going to run the wheel, flat, and then the deep over. Right, pretty good job here. Good job. I think this is, I'm not sure. This might be Shamar James. Great job taking this thing away. I mean, right in his hip pocket. And now, as I come out here, find that over. I got to put it on him right there. Give him a chance, right? Don't even give him a chance on it. Incompletion. Those are the throws he's going to have to make in this offense, right? He's shown that he can at times, but he's got to make that throw consistently here. Then another one, I think he's too quick here. So you're going to kind of get somewhat of a, right, that we just talked about Y corner, right, where we have a spot, right, a flat. So if these guys are running Y corner, spot, flat, corner, right? Well, it's 3rd and 10, so you're probably not running a 5-yard spot route, but it's not totally dissimilar idea here. The idea is actually pretty similar. You're going to run, he's going to run the corner. He's going to end up spotting over the ball. He's going to be kind of your extra guy here. He's your flat player coming across, and he's going to be kind of a deep spot. But the idea is similar. You got somebody getting width to the flat, width and depth with a corner, and then in this intermediate window. Right here, I think you have a little bit of a – now maybe he feels rushed right here. He thinks, all right, they're all dropped off. Just drop it down here. I think if he waits – now maybe he just doesn't like the muddiness of the pocket. You've got him, and as he comes across, he's going to widen. You're going to get this too. So if you can wait for it, you're going to get – right here's a first down, right, without having to break tackles or anything like that. So I thought he was a little quick on this one here. Trust your protection. Rip this dig. Because what they're hoping here is let's say he rotates to here. Well, he's going to get held by that. He's going to jump the shallow. And now this is my hole for this route right here, right? And this guy's going to run off the deep coverage. So that's kind of the idea behind that. But I thought a little too quick here. And then good tackle here. Good job kind of gang tackling that thing. All right, so jet fake, taking a shot here. I see, he's thinking it's not a bad idea here. Post, deep over. And the back is going to check down. If it's not super clean, right, you've got a nice pocket, right? If I don't think I can throw it out here and let him run, because these guys are turning and running, right? What can you do? Just find your check down. Right here. I don't need to force this. Drop it right there. You know what I mean? Drop it right there. Now, would a better throw, is this completed? It's possible, but still, I mean, some guys teach if his back's turned, that means this guy's open. Well, you got to make a great throw, but man, I could just drop it right here and make an easy throw. And that guy's going to run for a while, right? So don't be afraid to, right here, if it's not there, bang, take your steps. It's still not there. Now find your check down. You could hit either one of these guys. Check it down. Give them a chance to make a play. Don't make a hard throw, and you can take an easy throw for a pretty decent game. This is something I liked in the run game. They started running. So right? What's a good if you're going to bring this guy off from the field and you're going to drop this guy, well, all right, we'll just run the ball over there then. We'll run away from this. And then what was nice is, right, don't block corners. I heard Alex Gibbs talk about it. He's kind of him and Shanahan were kind of like the modern wide zone gurus, right? He was the modern wide zone gurus, and he used to say corners in the NFL don't want to tackle as much as corners at your level. Like he's like, don't block corners. So what's Florida going to do? They're not going to block corners. Make them make tackles, right? So there's wide zone. Make your corners make tackles. Corners aren't paid to tackle, right? If he can, that's great. But all right, here's a great example of what we talked about earlier, right? Bringing that off the edge, just settle. Right here, settle. Bad throw by the quarterback, right? He's trying to throw it around this guy a little bit. But if you can get this throw, right? If I can get this on him, it's mano a mano right here. One-on-one. He's going to make the play in space. So the idea was better, right? We don't run. We're not going to run into this. But get it on him, right? This is one you maybe have to change your arm angle, be a baseball player, all that kind of stuff. Get it on him. Good job by the corner getting his hands up and making it difficult. But get this thing on this guy, and now you got a one-on-one. If he makes this dude miss, it's a touchdown, right? If they just hit those two right there, and that guy makes if the receiver makes the safety miss twice, 2 touchdowns, right? Good rep of Y cross here for the offense. Settles in the hole right here. I'm assuming it's Y cross. You know, you got this, you got the out, you got the crosser. He's going to sit right down here. He's going to kind of feel a soft spot and sit. Good job. I think you get a pretty good pocket right here. Only rush 3 here. So you drop 8, but you're able to find the soft spot. So good job. Good job settling, good recognition, good catch, good throw. There you go, picking up first downs. Another kind of modern triple right here. Different way to do it, right? The last time they had the tight end running a flat. Now we got like the now screen, block 1, block 2. Still reading the end here. Ends up being a blitzer. He becomes the end man. Read him. I'm blocking here, going to block there. So when I pull it, there's nobody there. They took away the pitch man. There's my pitch man. So now I keep it. So you got a little modern triple option look there for another nice game. Okay, so this happens, I think, twice. This happens on both the bad snaps. I wonder, I think there were other snaps that weren't great, but 2 of the bad snaps are from, I believe, this same play. So you're going to have a jet, and you see the lines trying to get wide here. I think you've got a reverse. You would have had a reverse coming back this way. So they're going to hand the jet, and he would have flipped it back here. I don't know if he's running a route. It looks like he's running a route. Right. He doesn't know the ball's been bad snap. So you see him here kind of coming in like he's going to block the safety. He's going in like he's going to block the safety, and then he breaks out. Right. So he's going in like I'm going to block the safety. Then I'm breaking out. So I'm fairly certain, at least this is my contention here, that this is going to be a jet. He may have leaked out too, but hand it to him. He's coming back because I don't know why this guy would be coming back, right? Hand it to him. He's coming back. And then he would have thrown it or kept it off the backside there. So good heads-up play by the quarterback here, Jack Miller. Just catching it, throwing it away. But I think he had a trick play on there. So there was a little bit of razzle-dazzle in the playbook. Not a ton of other super, they kept it pretty simple. But there's a little bit of razzle-dazzle. Same idea. Zone, don't block corners. Why not block corners? They don't want to tackle at any level, right? Good job right here by, I think that's the right guard. Yeah, watch the right guard come off the double, work up, get a piece of the backer. And great play by, that's Cam Carroll, right? Great run by the transfer. All right, in the end zone, you got a little smash look here. All right, so I think this to me looks like a coverage bust. I think they're going to show, and I didn't think there was a ton of them. Show one high. It looks like he rolls deep half here. I think the corner is supposed to drop to deep half here as well, because you get, I believe the end drops to the flat there. So you're going to get a flat. He's going to break to the post. I'm not sure if he's up. Is he running a hitch up top? Yes, you got a hitch up top. I think he's supposed to be getting deep half, right? He's going to go to the flat. He's going to the corner. I think the corner back should be deep half. He messes up. The ball, I don't know why the ball is not thrown here unless I'm missing a guy. And then, so that's kind of, you get a coverage bust. The ball should have been thrown, right here. There's no safety back here. Tight end just runs to the back pylon, just easy drop it to him. And now if you don't like that for some reason, right? You think that's, did he miss the rotation trying to catch? But he's kind of rotating now, right? Did he miss the rotation trying to catch his snap? Because if it is 2 and you feel like this safety is here, well, this guy's going to snap it to the middle of the field. So I'd like to look right there right now. And you would have had a touchdown there too. End up extending the play, making a good throw. But late, in my eyes, late. Could have had a touchdown a couple different times because the coverage busted. And I think, so I'm watching this. I think you got a misalignment here. You've got, or they're trying to slant to something they don't get there because you've got 2 tight ends over here. It looks like you've got a 4-eye, and then he's outside the tight ends. So, I mean, that's pretty easy right there. That's just, there's not much you have to do offensively so I think you got a misalignment there. Leads to a big run. So take advantage of it, right, if they misalign. All right, so then we got young Max Brown in here. And this has got to be a hole shot. So you're on a run mesh, which I like it. It's 3rd and 6. I'm getting in the game. First pass play called. Really work to get back out. You got mesh called with a go route outside here. All right, could I have hit one of these guys? I have a pretty clean pocket here. So you get the shallow. He's going to wheel it over the ball, and he's going to run a go. Right, maybe he thinks it's one here, but looks like he's eyeing the safety, right? If it's deep half, he's rolling to deep half. Corners roll out like that, it's probably cover 2. That's got to be on a rope right here. That's a hole shot. Got to be a hole shot. Don't need to put air under that. Let the safety get underneath it, right? If he just puts it on a line to right here, right? Put it on a line to the 32. He can catch that thing, and now he's one-on-one with the safety, right? So you got to know that's a whole shot. Can't try to get that one up and over here. This was, I think this was probably the throw of the night for Mertz, or the best one, right? You get the deep over, right? The deep post off the hard play action. Oh. Deep post off hard play action. Deep over. There you go. They got that post bracketed. Perfect. We got the deep over coming right there. And a good ball. Not a perfect ball, but I mean, that's pretty good, right? And if you can hit these in this offense, you can have a pretty good year, I think. But the guy's hitting this throw, and then you see some of the other ones, you think, oh, that might be an easier throw right there that he misses. So just his consistency. And what I liked about this one is it's not like it's super clean here either, right? So the knock on hit and the knock, I think, on Mertz a little bit is, he had a lot of pressure last year. He got a lot of pressure in his face. He doesn't throw well with pressure. You actually kind of miss. You kind of whiff right here in protection. So he's got to step in here, and he would have eaten this one. It's not like I can really step in this throw nice and easy, huge pocket. So with that in mind, that's a great throw right there on the deep over. And here's another. So this is one I'm not sure if there's a bust here or not because the spacing's bad. But you've got this, and previously, right, we had this one called, and he sat, he ran a dig, right? Previously, that was a look we got on a 3rd and 7, I think, earlier. I don't know if they're coming back to the same thing, but the tight end here, he kind of runs like an out. He's running like an in, which I've seen some people do this where it happens a little bit tighter, a little bit not at the top of the route. It happens a little earlier, like a switch, right? Switch, release it. We used to run that back in the day, not to get into my coaching, but we run a deep curl and then make it look like a wheel and a deep comeback. But it doesn't happen at the top of the route, right? That's not where the switch happens. So this might just be a bust here. I don't know if he's supposed to sit right here and let that come behind like the first 3rd down we saw, or if that switch is supposed to happen sooner. Not quite sure who the bus is on. But that thing's busted. So, if this is here and he's waiting for the dig to come in here, which I think he's waiting for the dig, well, now it's a little cloudy. So, not quite sure what to do. Take off. A good job here finding him, getting 2 feet in for the catch, but not a super great spacing. So I think we had a bust there. I don't think that's how they drew that one up. Another RPO here. Good job by the defense getting their hands up. One thing that's interesting is kind of how they're not, and this is something you saw a ton from like Alabama when they had two. I think they did with Mac Jones too, like a Sark thing, part of his RPO stuff. It wasn't always just like we're running zone this way. I'm gonna read the guy here because that's an easy. I can keep my eyes kind of in the same place as zone read. They do a decent bit of where it looks like my back's to you, but I got my head turned this way. So the run's happening here, but my head is turned this way, kind of peeking at you over here. So that's something they were really good at. So he pulls it. Good decision. Just put the ball on him, right? You might have some space here if it's if it gets there. But good job by the defense getting your hands up, right? If you're not going to get there, get your hands up, knock it away, get off the field on 3rd down. So another kind of Y cross look here. I like the route here by Jackson. A little bit of a stair step, right? You don't want to just, if you got a cross, you don't want to just run right across, right? That makes you easy to cover. If I run here and then act like I'm getting vertical, well, now if I'm a DB here, I'm going to have to flip my hips to run vertical, and now you break me off again. That's how you can create more separation. So watch this here. Stair step it, get vertical. Not a bad decision here. I think it's the right decision by Mertz, right? It looks like he's playing outside. I would assume there's a man there. You got 2 on here. Almost playing inside out of him. He goes down inside with it. So you think I got the post over the top. So I like it. A little bit better ball here. And then the good recovery by the defensive back, right? But that's the right decision. Need a better throw. The PI on that one was not the greatest call. So right here, I put this one on here because this I thought was a pretty good throw that gets a good play by the defense, but also probably a drop. One thing, you go back and watch Richardson last year, he didn't get a ton of help in terms of receivers holding on to some of these throws. This was, I thought, a really well-placed throw right here. I mean, that's pretty good right there on the run. Throw it on the run. Bang. Then good play by the defender to play through the hands, but you're hoping that's one, if it hits the guy right there, you're hoping that's one he can hold on to. So, all right, so we've already talked about Y corner a little bit already, but let's do it again, right? What landmarks am I trying to hit? This is one thing I like about the way the Florida offense is designed. There are things I don't like, and despite what people may think, because I'm typically a positive guy, because I think it's easier to be positive when you actually had to do it and like understand the challenge of doing these things and implementing this stuff. It's not as easy as just drawing it up and saying we're running it. But what I do like is it makes it easy on the quarterback. They hit a lot of the same landmarks with routes, but they do it in different ways. So we talked about Y corner earlier, right? It was the spot, the corner, and they had the back and the flat, right? So what are the landmarks I'm trying to hit? I'm trying to hit the flat, probably 3 to 5 yards. I'm trying to hit the corner, and I'm trying to hit probably 6 yards, maybe behind the alley player, kind of in the direction of the alley player over here. So when I run snag, he gets to this spot, the flat gets here, the corner gets there, right? We're going to get to the same spots here, but we're going to do it differently. Instead of the flat, we're going to run a hitch. Corner is still going to be the corner. And then he's going to actually run here to my snag landmark, right? I'm going to run to that landmark right there. So in the quarterback's eyes, in terms of like manipulating the defense, I'm getting guys to the same landmark. So it looks totally different to the defense. But to the quarterback, my landmarks are the same. My reads should be pretty consistent, right, in terms of timing and things like that. It should have some consistency. So that's one thing I really like that they do. And they do that for a variety of concepts. But this is one they do it on quite a bit, right? So he would replace the snag. He's the flat. Then, hey, we're in a 2-minute drill. If they give you the hitch right there, you got time, take it. Good job. Good job here by the receiver getting out of bounds. We're moving the ball. Then right here, anticipating blitz. You've got kind of everybody running slants here, right? How do you beat a blitz? You beat it with the ball, right? Beat the blitz with the ball right there. Touchdown. Sometimes it can be easy at times on offense, right? But not always. So let's say you're worried, right, about a team running wide zone. You'd like to just cut your end loose. You don't want to have to worry too much about him having to play quarterback or playing for anything coming back, right? Playing boot or any of that kind of stuff. Or maybe you're a team that, your end's been flying down flat, so you anticipate the quarterback pulling on a boot. Well, what can you do? Well, something they did in the second half a decent bit is they just started sending 2 off the edge, right? So they sent 2 here, 1 there, then 1 off, another 1 off the edge there for the quarterback already pull, right? So now you can get a kind of a quicker player, a safety here for the quarterback. And then I can just, since I don't have to worry about anything, I can just shoot the gap right there. I can beat this tight end across face. And then if I win and he's got to cut it back, well, now I've got the safety there too that can collapse on that. So I thought this was probably the worst throw of the night here from Mertz. This should have been intercepted. He gets lucky twice here. You have a face mask. I don't think the face mask affected the throw. Now he kind of gets some bodies on him here. But this, you cannot miss inside here. You cannot miss these throws inside. These will be picked. Right? You see it hit, and then it hits the DB on the face mask, bounces up, gets caught. But I think with the back view here, right? You get the face mask. The ball's being thrown right now. It needs to be thrown here. Or you're throwing like here. If you miss, I'm okay missing out of bounds there. I do not want to miss 2 inches in here. I'd rather miss 3 feet wide out of bounds than 6 inches inside, right? Because here's what happens: you miss inside. Well, now I got a shorter. I can break on that thing, and he missed ways far inside. All right, and my guys doesn't get out, and maybe this inhibited him from getting out of his break and getting down to it. But again, I'd rather miss out here than missing here. So maybe it was inhibited, but I think that's probably the worst throw of the night. But you get lucky on it. So here it is again. I think we got the jet reverse again here, and you get a bad snap again. But right, you get him coming. He's coming back for something. He's here. He's obviously fake blocking here, right? Like look, he's not trying to really block here. So he's fake blocking. The guy up top's coming back. It's got to be some type of reverse with a throw option to it. So try to get a little razzle-dazzle both times. You got your little snake bit. You get a bad snap on both of them. So I just thought that was kind of funny. Here it is again, right? Look at this. Is that first group again? They're running. He may have the ability to convert this, so he's going to run. It's that double stick, kind of double out again. He can sit. I wonder if it's man, if he can break out. But watch out, right? No path of least resistance here. I don't get pushed wide. I wonder if this makes me think maybe they got a conversion here where he can run that, or if this corner is rolled up in a cloud, he can just take off. Because he just takes off. But good job, working it. This is what I want right here, right? He bails. Now I just got to find him. He's sitting right there. This is easy money all day. Take that. Thank you. Good ball. A little naked. Good job finding the receiver to come on the deep crosser. So there's some decent stuff. This is screen here. So we might have got out of order a little bit. That's all right. No, okay. All right, so here's a screen. This is something that I think is got to be a big part of the offense this year is screens. Like, how can you control backside guys? You can control them with screens too. So again, I don't know if this is a bust, but this is something I think quick game and screens have to be much better this year for Florida. I think the first year you can kind of let some things go. You're implementing stuff, but this has got to be better. I'm assuming he's got one. It might be most dangerous, might be the rule. So as he's going to one, he sees him pedaling, so he's going to come here. But then you get some confusion because it looks like you're getting him coming out to two. And so he starts to turn back. But you just got to, I got to get a piece right there. Right here, nobody really gets blocked. You got to do a better job, right? Now, a great job. I think this is Andy Jean, right? Great job by him, but this isn't gonna fly, and I would imagine in a real game, right? So you got to get that cleaned up. I like that they're throwing screens, but you got to clean those things up. I like the decision here. It's a one-on-one. Let it rip. Just need a better ball. Great catch. I think a little bit better ball. The receiver does a decent job of giving him room here. Good job, not just watch the receiver right here. He doesn't just try to avoid contact and run to the sideline. He does a pretty good job once he gets outside of getting straight. Let the ball fade you. But that thing probably needs to be Let it rip. Throw it out there. I like the idea though. Hey man, 1-on-1. It looks like cover one. Let it rip. Defense is bringing. they're bringing. They're bringing it right here. Getting across. They're getting two coming off here. They were just about to get there. Can't quite step into it. We'll give him that excuse, right? Couldn't quite step into it. Gotta have a better ball there. Here you go, a little bit of a shallow cross. This is a great rep. Maybe besides the deep crosser, probably the best rep of the night for Mertz, I thought. Sitting in there, step up, let it rip. There's the hole. You're running a little bit of a shallow cross look. I think he's maybe out. He's out. Shallow. Then the dig behind it. So shallow cross. Oh. He's the corner out. He's the dig. My mistake. Regardless, you got the shallow coming in front, the dig coming behind it. There it is. Put it on him. Good job. Right here, put this in one end. You got a package play right here. So you got like 3 options, I think, or really 4. So you've got here you're gonna run a now screen. Here you got a hitch. Then you got, I'm assuming you got split zone. Maybe he can pull it too. So it might be a bluff. So give it, keep it, throw this, or throw that. So before the play, pre-snap, you've got 4 possibilities of what you're going to run. Give. Y cross again. Hit the dig behind it. Kind of a Y cross. Oh, kind of a variant. Looks like maybe it might be a comeback here. Crosser. Dig behind it. But there's the hole. Great throw, put it on him. First down. Good stuff. I don't know if this is a plus for the defense or a minus for the receiver. I think the defense does a pretty good job here. Right. I'd like for these guys to really if you're running a go, to me, I'd like a mandatory outside release. Like, no, you can't jog back unless like you're getting this guy really wide, then you can jump back in. But a good job here of kind of enticing this receiver to jump inside. Now I'm trailing him, and I got the safety to help on the inside, right? So this is a good job by the corner winning leverage, right? He jumps inside because I know I've got help inside. That's fine. Let him jump inside. And now this throw's got to be unbelievable. There may not even be a throw to be made here because of how tight the coverage is, right? But then on the other side, I'd like to fight. Now, maybe the rule is once you get to the top of the numbers, jump inside. But man, I hate jumping inside on these goes. That's just me. That's just how we've done it. But you see some of the veteran guys, to be fair, right? Some of the veteran guys have been out, jumped inside, and then got back out, which is cool. That's great. You just want to end up outside, right? But you don't want to jump inside and then get stuck inside and lose your leverage, right? You really limit where the quarterback can throw that ball. Right here, how do you beat the blitz? With the ball. Right here, you beat the blitz with the ball. Just got to catch it. Good throw, good recognition. Bang. Should be caught. Get tackled right here, first down. All right, so here's one where we talked about 2 off the edge here. Right here. So this is kind of package play. It looks like this, but he looks like he has a speed out on. I mean, I think you got to pull this and throw this. Look how far off the corner is. Or check, give him something like just a now pass or something, right? Because you're getting guys off the edge. You can kind of tell by demeanor, right? You're getting he's showing he's up on the line. The safety's up on the line of scrimmage. He ain't getting all the way back. It's gonna be tough for him to get all the way back there, right? And he's definitely not getting all the way out here. So here's when I would rather the quarterback pull it or check it, right? If he just decides to drop back and throw this thing, hit the speed out again, you're one-on-one with his corner. But instead, you kind of put your back into no man's land. Don't pick up anything. Right here, I think you can wait for it. Now, he's probably thinking, timing. It looks like you've got the shallow cross again, the dig that he waited for previously and got to. Maybe he sees that blitzer, but I think you've got a chance to wait and throw this thing. Or you could probably throw this thing right now as you're throwing this in this hole, right? Like to throw that instead of throw that. I think if you maybe could just wait for it to come open, I think it's coming there. You have a clean pocket, but you can't be too upset when you're making where you're just taking what they give you, get a couple yards, but you could probably got a better one there. Again, here's a screen. This one is probably tougher than the first one, right? If the rule is either one or most dangerous. If it's most dangerous, if we get this blocked right here, right? If you're in the staff room, you're feeling like if I get that thing blocked right there, if we get that blocked, right? Imagine he's out of the play and he's blocked out of the play. Well, now I've got him for him, hopefully for him. I got a pretty good play on, but that first block is key. That'll be something they'll definitely need to improve on as the season goes, because they're going to have to be a good screen team, I think. Right here, this was kind of a delayed rush here. And if you're explosive, like this dude's explosive, right, you can do this. As soon as the guard turns to help here, he's shot out of a cannon, right? I like this. Just say, add on. Whoop. He's your fourth. It's safe because he's your fourth rusher. He doesn't go right now, so by not going right at the snap, you let the guard go help. And now I'm going to shoot that gap. Oop, thank you very much. That's a sack. So nice delayed blitz there. All right, and that's it. I'm sure everyone's still watching an hour in here on the spring game. But that's stuff that stuck out to me. I didn't want to do every play. We would have been here for 2 hours, Lord. But just wanted to go through stuff that I kind of stuck out to me or things that maybe I think need to be improved or what I thought they were trying to do. And it's a couple of different ways schematically. So, again, if you like this, share it around, like, comment, subscribe, help me game the YouTube algorithm.